All right, so I'm going to go over the syllabus. I'm hoping that I'm going to get through this video pretty fast and I don't take too much of your time. Let's go to the syllabus. Okay, so this is an introduction to Math 319, required technology and textbooks, general online communication and expectations, course assignments and grading, tutorials, and the instructor contact. So let's go to Introduction to Math 319. So this is the course description, the learning objectives. There are 7. We're going to talk about that a lot, so make sure that you know where to find those. And then this kind of goes over why there's an online course. I'm not going to read any of these to you verbatim by any means. This is something that you can take a minute to read. But again, the most important things are the learning outcomes, and if you're really curious why we're doing an online course, you can see it here. If you go back and you do required technology and textbook, make sure that you have a browser check. That's your technology requirements. Since this is an online class, it's expected that you have access to the internet, and if you need to leave your house, let's say, because you have a power outage to go get other internet, that is something you do have to do. You can't not have internet on a consistent basis, so that's something you have to be able to participate in the class. However, a lot of the stuff that you're going to do is not online. Actually, you're going to be going over problems, and you're going to be working on these problems by yourself or maybe with somebody else if you need extra help. So don't worry too much about the fact that you don't need to be online all the time, but you do need to have access to the internet. There are deadlines throughout the course. There are 2 different ways you can get the book. You can get a digital copy or you can get the print copy. The print copy is not that much more, and I will tell you right now, a lot of students said they wish they had the print copy in hand when they were taking the course last semester. So I just want to make sure it's clear that you need the book. And that you have 2 different options. There should be books at the bookstore. Okay. General online communication and expectations. There are 3 documents I would read here. Also about academic integrity and professionalism and policies and procedures for online learning. It's possible that you'll have to go through some kind of training if you've never taken an online course. So if you've done that, then you probably know all this already. But take a minute to read those when you get a chance. Okay, this is the big one. This is what everyone wants to know. So course assignment and grading. So let's just take a minute and read this. Since you're watching the video, you can read it. So I'm going to give you a second to read just the top portion. Okay, so you've probably skimmed it and you got the gist of it. Thursdays are going to be the deadlines for the class. Currently, that is not going to change. That works best for my schedule. I polled some people last semester, and as long as it was consistent, they didn't really care what day it was. Last semester, it was Tuesday, and I've changed it to Thursday. There are a couple of things to note. You won't get penalized for late work if you turn it in by 8 a.m. on Friday. So those are for people who want to stay up in the middle of the night, and that's fine with me. But there's a bonus. If you get things done by 48 hours before the deadline, which would be Tuesday at 11:59, you will get some extra credit. And we'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, this is important because I've underlined it. Whenever you're talking about a discussion board that's due, a directed discussion board, let's say, there's only one deadline for that discussion board, and that's the initial post, because Blackboard doesn't allow me to set different deadlines for each portion. So you're going to just see a deadline for the initial post, but the deadlines are still set for the initial post and the peer feedback and then the further thoughts. If you had a second, you've probably looked at this table. So Thursday, January 17th, the first week of classes, you're going to do an introduction post, and that's going to be found in Unit 1. If you have read this, you can kind of see there's a trend. For each unit, there are 3 portions. There are initial posts, peer feedback posts, further thoughts and reflection, and a reflection assignment. And that happens every few weeks throughout the course. There are 5 total units. I've incorporated spring break in there so you know when that is. The last thing that I want to make sure it's very clear of is that the last further thoughts assignment and reflection assignment would be actually due on Tuesday, and that's so I can get your grades done at a decent hour. So if you're going to print something right now and you had a second to do it, I would print this off or at least put it in your calendar. I am going to put this into the you need to print this stuff folder, so you can also access it there. Okay, so that's kind of like the course schedule and how it's run. Make sure that you're paying attention to everything that I'm saying and that you're actually going back and rereading it. I'm just giving you an overview. I'm going to just jump down real quick to this because these take some time. So final course grade evaluations, your grades basically consisted of a discussion board and a reflection assignment. Reflection assignments. Everything is basically weighted the same. As you can see, all the reflection assignments are 100 points. All the discussion boards are 90 points. And then there's an open discussion board, and you have to have a minimum of 5 posts, and I'll explain that soon. So everything adds up to 1,000 points, hopefully. Ha! Okay. A maximum of 100 extra points can be extra credit points can be earned per student. You can earn discussion extra points in a couple of different ways. So this is a little typo, sorry about that. So for every discussion board, okay, there's a possibility of earning 1 extra credit point per post submitted at least 48 hours early. You are required to have 7 initial posts, 7 peer review posts, so that would be 14 points total for each discussion board that you could earn, okay? The only thing I want to note is you're not going to really get extra points because it says 14 just later on when you see that there's also and everyone can post one, and I'm sorry, you are going to receive that, so I just need to change that to 15, so I'll fix that. But anyway, 15 points per discussion board. You can get 5 extra credit points for your reflection assignments submitted at least 48 hours early. And so that would come up to 25 extra credit points. Student evaluations, if 90% or more of the class submits surveys, student evaluations by the end of the course, then everyone will be given 5 extra credit points. So I'm sure you know how that works with student evaluations. There's always good to get really good feedback, and I'd like to get as many people to participate as possible. So there are lots of options for extra credit. There's a traditional scale that you will see, as you can see that I've done, that is normal. So A minus, B plus, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to make another video for the 2 discussions and reflection assignments.